What's going on, guys? This is Joel here from SLENDR, and today we are going to take a look at the second part of making a track from scratch. I changed the chords a bit and I did some processing on the piano, but I will show you that later on. I decided to change key. We are now in C major. That's what the chord progression looks like. A bit weird, this one, but it actually works. It sounds like this. Oh, let's put the filter off. So I think this sounds really cool. What I also did with the piano is I put an auto filter on, and what this basically does is it cuts out the high frequencies, so you can you get like a muddy piano, but you still have the transient on the attack, so it makes the sound attacky, but it feels like a pad. Then another piano layer on Alchemy. I don't know what's called. Oh, it's a mullet actually. Yeah, and this sounds really weird when I put the filter off. But with the filter on, it sounds really nice. Then there is a pad going on, but I think it's also a mullet with a filter on it, or a key. Yeah, sounds also really weird without the filter, like in a church or something. And on Logic's update, you have a string section now, and I tried to use them. And there's a really cool trick I found out with the LFO tool. You can see it here. It fades in very slowly. I think that's a really nice effect, especially when it goes to the first transition, let's call this transition for the moment, and then the vocal kicks in. The vocal I found from a pack of Vandalism. It sounds like this.
Every time that I see your face, it always makes me smile.
I think it's a really nice vocal. I will just work around that, and everything in the mix sounds now like that. I also made a little transition, but it's not done yet.
Every time that I see your face, it always makes me smile. Oh. And every time that I drive to you, it's always worth my while.
So as you can see, the vocal is not perfectly on grid, but we will take care of that later on. What I also added was bass, which is actually from Sculpture. This is a hidden gem in Logic X. They have so nice bass sounds. This is actually a preset I tweaked a bit. And it sounds like a real bass. And then I just cut out all the low end here, just to make it a really wimpy bass. As you can see here, cut out everything. And an OTT over it, just to give it a bit more pressure, and a Saturn for a tape distortion, especially on the lows and on the low mids, just to give it more touch and more color. Without it, it sounds like that, and with it, it sounds like that. Makes a really warm distortion feel. And a sub bass. Sub bass is basically just a sine wave 2 octaves down with no effects on it, not even a filter. It's what usually I put a bit distortion on it and a low pass filter, but in this case I think it should work fine because I put an auto filter on it as well. Otherwise it would sound like that, and now it sounds like that. And Saturn as well, just to give it a warmer sound. So we can maybe A/B this without a filter. Sounds like that. We put the distortion on, and as you can hear, the lower frequencies are getting a bit lost with the distortion. That's clear because you distort the sound and the energy gets lost a bit. But I think for a tropical house track, you don't need to have the bass line that in the middle up front. So I think it works. And what I also added was a shaker loop. It's from Logic itself. You can find them in here in this looping. Go to instrument, shaker, and I think it was number 5. Yeah, it was number 5. This is a shaker, and what I also added was a top loop, just to give it a bit more a feel of where we're going. I like to use top loops just to grab inspiration and getting an idea done really quick. As you can see, we are really far in the project, but of course we don't leave the perk loop only playing the whole song. We are going to arrange that differently afterwards, and of course we're going to do all the transitions. But I first want to make sure that everything sits on his place and that we have the structure of the track done. And I think we even have to change the track structure here with the drop, because the break starts when the vocal ends. But yeah, we will change that in the next section. I think it's a bit better for me and for you guys when I go further on in the project and then explain everything, what I made, what I did, and why I did it, than just making it from scratch, because sometimes I really get into writer's block, you all know that, and I don't want to waste half an hour for a video that shows the track, and at the end of the video there's the same track with nothing changed on it. So I just want to show you what I've done for everything, what I EQ. For example, here I put the EQ very high because there are some frequencies that you don't hear in this section, but they can really make a difference, and for a clean mix. And I would just suggest you to always low cut everything, because if you don't need it, why you shouldn't cut it. And what I also added was a
that I
kick
see your face
here.
So let me sing for you, like the birds in the mountains do.
A very subtle kick. It's literally just a little punch. It's not straight in your face, but I think I like that better in those kind of tracks, because if you have a big kick on this track, for example, that we are making now, it definitely doesn't work out, because you have like a very quiet melody going on. Everything is so cinematic a bit, and you feel like you're walking on the beach or something. That's basically what I expect of the track when I listen to it. And a big kick would ruin the sound. So this is one of the most important things, to select the right samples. That's basically it, what I've done so far. The drop section I will cover in the next video, because I didn't make everything now. I just added some chords with a rhythm in it, but the chords I changed, so I have to change these chords as well, otherwise it wouldn't work out, because it's another key. So that's already it. I hope you like it, and I hope you can take some inspiration what we are doing here. In the next part we will cover the vocal section for sure, how to process the vocals, because there's nothing on it. right now. I just have to make sure that it sounds right before, and afterwards we will process that together, because on the vocals I usually do the same processing for a male and for a female voice in this kind of music. I'm really sorry that you can't see me, but my camera has an issue and I don't know what it is. I have to go to the supplier tomorrow. Maybe he can help me out. Otherwise, I have to repair it myself. But I think it should work. For the next video, I hope I have my camera again, and otherwise we just have to leave it like that. So make sure to subscribe to our channel and have a nice week. SLENDR out.